So this might be the ASMR version of today's live. I have to be extra quiet because baby bunny's here and she could wake up at any minute and I have to tend to her. But I wanted to play some of these videos that were released. These are the unedited full versions of Alexee Trevizo and what has happened. And I honestly feel like we've seen the TikToks. We saw that TikTok earlier. It seriously doesn't do any justice to the full story and the full picture of what happened. So shout out to this person by the name of True Crime Anayeli. You guys go sub up to them. They I put their info in the pin. Check them out. I mean, seriously, they did the work, got the videos, and got full body cams of inside the hospital, something that law and crime didn't do, right? So this kind of gives you a fuller picture. So let me start playing this, okay?
Yeah, let them know you're with us too. Yeah, that was no good. I thought you weren't supposed to do that. Technically two. I want to knock on front. Alexee. Yeah. Yeah, I think we went out.
I'll bring her out. Just tell me what's going on.
For her arrest.
Okay.
I will give it to her whenever.
Can I see her?
She can see the warrant. She gets arrested.
This is my house. I
Right.
have a right to see the warrant.
I'm letting you know she has a warrant for her arrest. We don't have a search warrant for your house. We have a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
Yeah, once we
She gets a copy of it.
Can I go up there when you take her up there?
You can go to the detention. Do you know where it is?
Everything?
It's
Okay,
lower.
so what is she under arrest for?
She's over 18. She's got
I understand that,
Right.
Detective Gonzalez.
Right.
What is she under arrest for?
She has a warrant for arrest. Okay?
For what?
That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay?
What do you mean that's all you're going to tell me?
she's over the age of 18.
I understand that, but I have a right to know as well.
We'll tell you that. But
Okay, then let me know now. Let me know now. I'm giving you the corporation. I told you answer my question. What is she under arrest for?
Like I said, she's over the age of 18. Like that's not that is that we can't really put that information. But bring her out here.
What is she under arrest
bring her out here,
for?
we'll tell you right now.
No, I'm not bringing her out here yet. Let me know what she's under
she's
arrest
gonna
for.
get arrested regardless of how I don't know why.
For what? For what? For what?
You okay with telling her?
Tell me.
Homicide. Open count of homicide. And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence
Yes.
at the hospital?
Yes.
So can we see her now?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
I have a right to see a warrant. It doesn't matter if she's over the age of 18. This is my house. You have a right. You have to show me that warrant.
If we were searching her house.
Even if she's under arrest, you have to show me the
It's
warrant.
up to her to show us.
Sarah, this is Trevizo. Hey, I have the detectives here. They want to arrest my daughter. They're saying they have a warrant, but they can't show me a warrant for her arrest.
You good? When we get to there, I'll give you a copy. She gets her copy. And then it's up to her.
Can I see the warrant?
It's an arrest warrant for her. It's
Okay,
not a
can I
search
see
warrant
the
for your
arrest warrant?
house.
I want to see the arrest warrant.
And what will that prove?
You bet when this is over, I'm coming for the police department and the hospital.
Yes.
I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Gary, this is what's up. Gary. The detectives out here are wanting to arrest me. They say they have a But he hasn't shown you. He hasn't shown you. Or any sign. No, no, sir. Okay. So I guess do I do it?
Good response for obstruction.
Yeah, we'll go there.
Trying to
You're
do that.
protected.
Oh, they said it's local statements, homicide, and tampering with evidence.
You see her?
Okay.
Who is?
Okay.
Probably just nosy neighbor.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's here. She's here right now. Yeah.
Oh, no. Might not be a nosy neighbor.
Guess I could have a better part of the job.
Could you please let me know? That's all I'm asking.
That is his
I will
policy.
give it to you. Please don't. Please don't.
She ran away from 1002 West
Yeah,
Washington.
man, it's nothing personal. It really isn't. And we understand, but we have to do our jobs too.
I understand that. I understand that.
Yes.
That's Melanie. That's Devin's mom. She's good. She's okay.
We're not gonna be rough with her or anything. We're just gonna take her over there and book her.
Please don't be rough with her, please.
Just bring her out. You can be with her the entire time. Okay?
You know where the public safety complex is? 3300 West Main?
You can follow us over there. I will take you there. You can follow me over there.
As soon as I release the criminal complaint to her, she can then give it to you there, okay?
When can I get like her bond? What?
That's set up by the judge. It's Magistrate Judge Chuck
When,
Foster. He should be doing it. If it's after 3, he'll be doing it in the morning. Go on the back? All right.
So you have the original?
I have the original and a copy.
A copy. So you want to give me the copy, and I'll make you a copy?
Works for me.
Because we need the. Well, I gotta sign off on the original.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll just.
How about we just meet at the?
Well, yeah, the original plan, sir.
Yeah, we'll just meet at.
Can I write down the phone number for her or to call her when she gets there?
You can call write down whatever you need.
Just
We just
no
need her down
flammables, no flammables or sharp objects.
Yeah.
Oh, another one.
I really didn't park in the best spot.
Writing down for her lawyer for when she gets over there. Artesia is very small.
Who are these people?
No idea.
Central 7077 14 unit.
We're 10 for.
Oh, is that the blood card?
I don't know what he drives. I've only ever called him.
That's my other daughter. That's,
Oh, okay.
That's my daughter.
Yeah, some looky loose. Nothing important.
Central 730. Go for 730. 611 South First Street, the hospital auxiliary shop. We had an RP call in that the building was open, yet no workers. When I was on the phone with her, someone did come in claiming to be a worker. 611 South First.
We're arresting Alexee. We're arresting Alexee. You're here at home. Bye.
What can you see in there?
I can see them keep going in and out of her room.
Oh, okay. Nothing weird though?
Yeah.
Oh, Rosa.
Nothing sharp. Okay.
That rocking back and forth is too much, okay? Way too much. I think the date of this footage, let me take the banner off real quick, guys. So as you can see, mom was pretty upset when she received the officers. Again, Law and Crime did not release this. This is actually a channel by the name of True Crime Anayeli. I put their information in the description box as well as in the chat. Go check them out, okay? So if you look at the date, let me see if I could put myself smaller. I see May 10th of 2023. This is when the arrest happened. When I actually believe, and I have to think back, but the incident happened on January. I want to say it was like the 28th or 27th. If somebody wants to Google search that real quick, that'd be awesome. But this was like 5 months later, basically, when the arrest happened. Yeah, they're taking way too long for this arrest. I'm just going to say that. definitely. Let's hit play. We're gonna watch the majority of them up until the hospital footage because that's the one that's like 2 hours long, and we're not doing 2 hours long.
No one saw her enter the house. No one saw her enter the house today.
We don't need to see.
Exactly.
Hi. What's your name?
Alexee.
Okay. What's the last 4 of your social?
She don't even know it.
You don't know it?
So, I don't know. I don't remember.
Alexee, do you know your date of birth?
Yes.
Okay.
What is it?
11/25/03.
Yeah.
Do you have to walk her all the way over there? Can you bring a car up here? Please.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
That's all. Just please.
I'll go get it.
Alexee, are you okay with your mom getting a criminal complaint when we get to the detention center? It has your personal
Can
information
you
on it.
repeat that?
Are you okay with your mother getting the criminal complaint? It has your personal identifying information on it. Serial number, date of birth.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. I have to serve you first, then your mom can get it, okay? I do. He's gonna move his unit around. No medications, anything you need to take while you're in there.
No, sir, no.
Okay.
She has still been like bleeding, so I don't know if she needs.
Do you have any? I don't know if they have tampons.
They do have feminine products.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure if you take your own, you can use your own if you need it.
Can she? Do you want to grab some? Can she grab some of that real quick? Or
Yes.
Do you mind if
get your little bag.
one of us goes to?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just making sure you're doing.
Just grab your little.
Okay. And just nothing sharp, no flammables, nothing sharp. Okay. Okay. They're gonna check it when you get over there. Okay.
Okay.
Confirmed that address is 611 North First Street. 611 North First.
Okay. We'll check those when you same thing. Okay. We're gonna check all that when you get over there. Okay. Thank you.
I'm going up there right now too. Okay.
All right. What's in there?
Personal pads.
Just
Personal pads?
Yeah, she needs them.
Oh,
3200 West Main Street, the Public Safety Complex. If you just go through the front door, you know where we first spoke in the records?
Yeah.
If you just go over there. Is there already four?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll meet her in the front.
Okay. I'll get with him and do all stuff. Go to dispatch.
We'll meet you in the front.
We're Tampa. I'll be headed your way shortly.
Or relay the rest.
I'll be headed your way for the relay shortly. Yeah, I was gonna go station. He signs the original, then I'll relay. Send it back.
Make sure you send a copy of the readout. So
No, that's what I'm gonna relay it.
you can send them a copy.
19.
Send them a copy, email.
Okay.
You just need to enter it on there,
Oh, okay.
and then the original can go back.
I'll just go straight there. I didn't bring my phone with me. What time is it? 4:02. They'll be go. No, 4:45. I'll have time to get it back to. Oh. Just my radio's a little off. That'll give us enough time to get back to Magistrate Court.
And then drop them the bottom.
Yeah. trying to get it there so that way there's no error on it.
I'll meet that. I'll meet that in the front.
Okay, I'll be in the back.
Okay. Thank you, SW. Hold up. So, SW says, thank you, Rabbit, for fighting this for us. No, I want to thank, where is she at? November Rain? Shout out to November Rain. She's the one that clued me in about this. But I want to make sure that this creator gets their credit for uploading this. So you guys go sub up. Let's get this creator to 1,000 subs, please. Let me play this other video. So it's like a timeline that it follows. Watch. This was the full body cam police officer speak to Alexee's family, and this was at the hospital. It's about 12 minutes long. And thank you, SW, for the $2, my love. And shout out to the new members. I think Lawyer Maven became a member. There's some other ones in there. I didn't really check. I just saw her name, but shout out to her and all the new members. This was at the hospital.
Hi, Rosa?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Is this your family?
Yes.
Okay, hi, I'm Detective Gonzalez, Artesia Police Department. What questions do you have for me right now?
What's gonna go on? Like, what can I be with her?
She's getting life flighted out right now.
Okay,
So they're taking her right now.
okay,
I haven't spoke to her at all.
okay. So like, what's gonna go on? Like, what's gonna happen with her? Like,
So she's gonna get treatment before we even talk to her because she needs to be stabilized. So
Mhm.
that's why she's getting life flighted out.
okay,
Once she gets stabilized, we'll try and talk to her. The baby's gonna go up north for autopsy.
hmm
More likely, it'll be done within the next day.
Is she gonna get taken after like she's released? How?
Get what?
Like, are y'all gonna take her into custody or anything like that? Like,
That depends
what?
on what the DA finds. We have to wait for the autopsy to come back to see what happened because right now, with how everything happened, we're going to do an investigation, get more information from the OMI, Office of Medical Investigator up north.
Mhm.
And with that, we present that to DA, see what the DA wants to do with charges, if any at all.
Okay. Okay. So they already took her out.
No, she's getting life flighted. She's right now being set up to go to the.
Okay.
What happens?
What do you mean?
Before the DA makes a decision or that?
It should be pretty soon. They make a decision. Because with the age of the decedent, they usually expedite autopsy reports and such. With normal people that pass naturally at home, takes a couple months for us to get reports back. Stuff like this, we'll get it back pretty soon.
Okay.
So
Still moving, they don't know.
They
we
don't
don't,
know yet.
we don't know. That's why
That's why
he'll
we
be going up
didn't
north. Has y'all's information been taken yet?
He took my driver's license. He took her driver's license.
Okay.
My phone number. Her phone no, my phone number. Yeah.
So, even though she's of age, if she's not available to be contacted, can we put you down as next of kin for all my? Okay. And you'd be grandmother?
I'm mom.
So you'd be
I'm
the
her mom.
you'd be the decedent's grandmother.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So that's her boyfriend.
Mr. Boyfriend, do you have a driver's license?
Oh my God, that's her boyfriend? That's her
And is the
boyfriend,
address
guys.
current on the driver's license?
So that's the baby's
Because
father?
depending on what the OMI does, if she's still in medical,
Yes, bitch.
and they do release the infant back, it'll have to be released somebody. That'll be up to OMI who they determine next of kin is. Maybe the parents, but maybe you. Okay, so that's why we're gonna get everyone's information.
OMG.
I'm just gonna run your name through the special on her radio. Okay, so I'm just gonna call him.
Girl, right?
Hey, it's Vanzant, 715. Are you on APD?
Oh
For
my
the APD's
God.
call, can you run 1 OLN at New Mexico? It's 517-158-500. Should be Devin Fierro.
Me too, Karen. I'm like confused.
Yes. No, it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
No, is it Rick? Okay, so coming out of Carlsbad, so like 45 minutes?
They did,
All right.
Nikki.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Oh, you as well. Here we go. Thank you.
But as soon as they're done with her, like if everything's okay, will I be able to bring her home with me?
Yes.
I will.
Yes.
Okay,
I don't know where she'll be going.
with me to
No,
my house. I mean, like
when she gets like
Oh,
lighted. I
okay.
don't know which one.
they told me Loveless
Regional.
Yeah.
Loveless Regional?
Yeah.
That's my card. Get
Okay.
keep a hold of me.
Okay.
So if she stays at Loveless and then she gets released, she can go back to y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll be in touch with you to try and set up an interview with her.
Okay.
Let me pause right there real quick because let me take myself out of the screen for a minute. So I think that's boyfriend's mom, and that's mom, Rosa, and then that's her dad over there. I'm assuming that's Lexi's dad in the red orange at the very end.
Would y'all mind talking to me later when y'all are okay?
Yeah, I was with her. I know she talked to him for a while on the phone, and then she came to me. So I've been with her the rest of the time.
Today?
Mhm.
Oh, so what did she come
Thank
here for
you.
that she told you?
She told me she had back pain.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Has she been having back pain before?
Yeah, she's pain for her and her hips is no. I mean, she was born with like her. I don't know. It's like crooked.
Her spine?
Okay, because my ex-husband, he hit me. He beat me whenever I was pregnant with her. So she was early. So she had some problems with her hips. Like I always had to take her to the chiropractor to get adjusted because she couldn't use like she was always getting constipated. Like she had to get lined up, whatever. So I mean, I've been taking her to chiropractor because I always thought, well, this time, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know she was pregnant.
But
I
she's a
didn't know.
cheerleader.
I just thought, like she said, I have back pain more. My hips are hurting me. I think I need to go to the chiropractor. I said, okay, let's go tomorrow. But she was like in really a lot of pain, and
When did it start?
Like the pain.
Yes.
Yesterday she said it was really bad, that her hips were hurting and her back. And then last night we're on the phone together and she said her hips were hurting bad. I asked her if anything else was hurting, and she said just everything. And she went to sleep.
But she's a cheerleader too, so she's big in cheers. They have cheer competition. She works out. I mean,
And she's been active this whole
yeah,
time?
she's been active this whole time
And who does she live with?
with me.
So
Her parents are with us. Yeah, because she's in school. She's a senior.
And how long have you all been together?
Almost 2 years.
2 years? Okay. So I'm not trying to be rude to you, but you are more than likely would be the father? Okay.
Oh, wow.
It's,
No, we get it. We get
sometimes
it.
it happens.
Okay. This is crazy because she denied to the hospital staff. She was given a pregnancy test, okay, before she went to the bathroom, before she gave labor. Okay, keep that in mind. She denied having sex. Okay? Tara, we're laughing now. Okay? And so then, listen, it would be, this is not a normal circumstance whatsoever, right? I cannot. I don't know what to say, but let's keep playing.
So with everything that comes with that, gets a little shaky when it's newborn, stuff like that. But with like death certificates, stuff like that, interpreting his sons, if you choose to use them, we'll be the ones to help you get those. Other than that, because that's all really you'd need, and they can help you with the afterlife care. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all have any questions for me right now? Okay. You have my number. You can. That is my work phone. If you want to text me
Okay.
or call me, I have my email on there as well. Okay. Sergeant and I got your information right.
Yes.
Okay. Let me give you my card too, so you can give me a call. All right. Just because I want to make sure everyone stays updated. Okay. Like I said, I don't know. There will be charges that will be up to the district attorney's office, if any are even done. Okay.
Okay.
It's too early in the game to know right now.
Okay.
So we're just gonna do the initial investigation. I was on the phone with our dispatch, so all mine will be here in 45 minutes. It's one of their field agents,
Okay.
and they're the ones. So in the state of Mexico, we're not allowed to touch anybody that's passed.
Okay.
They're called a decedent. They're the only ones allowed to actually handle somebody. So we wait for them to even do anything. So hospitals allowed to do it because they do care, life-saving efforts. Whenever life-saving efforts cease, no one's allowed to touch them. So we have to wait for them to show up before we even start that side of stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So she's getting life flighted out. We'll talk to her later.
Okay.
That's if she even wants to talk to us, if she chooses to, because she still has her constitutional rights.
Should I get a lawyer for her? Should I?
You can. That's your choice. I can't tell you what to do. That's something that y'all as a family have to talk about. Okay.
Well, why don't we want to talk to her over in Roswell?
Yes.
But I know right here they won't let her.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us.
Yeah.
She should be gone by now.
Okay.
So that's with the helicopters coming in. They want nobody near it, so that way you can't mess with anything. Because if any of their vitals go off, they'll stop it, which could be an issue for if they need care immediately. So that's why whenever someone gets life flighted, they should cut off every contact with the family.
Okay.
Because they're making sure she's getting set up to get transported out.
Okay.
So that's why they tell you leave.
Yeah.
It seems very harsh, but it's because with the flight nurse, the flight doctor, they have to make sure everything stays constant.
Okay.
So she should be gone by now because she was already getting prepped whenever I came out to y'all.
Okay.
So with that, like I said, she'll be leaving. We'll stay here with the decedent and go from there. Okay.
Okay.
So once she gets to Loveless, it's up to Loveless if they'll let you back there.
Okay.
All right, because she is of age. So with COVID and how everything goes, it just depends. Okay.
Okay.
So if before you make the drive, I'd call, see if that's available,
Okay.
and just let them know what's going on, and we'll just let your family and that if it's possible.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We'll be here if you need anything. Yeah, well, I'll be over there, and I'll
Okay.
just be waiting. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, folks.
My goodness. Okay, hold up, y'all. Let me go down to the next video. Okay, so this is where they start interviewing the hospital staff, okay? I mean, again, the channel name is True Crime Anayeli. Their information is in the description box as well as in the chat. It's pinned up. Check them out. We're going to watch some of these and then we'll probably stop around the whole hospital video because that one is very, very long. These ones I would recommend you guys watching them because we actually get to see the cam of her going into that bathroom and it's unedited. Definitely recommend it.
It's okay because I think she's a meeting. Did you need her in there?
This is the Ultrasound Tech interview.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you want, all right, you're first.
Okay. Sorry, we were waiting for a call, and so we called her.
Oh, I'm sorry, because yeah, that was like, oh shoot. So yeah, so we'll start because she's in a meeting.
Okay.
She should stop, but
Oh, no worries.
you guys send me in here. So this is Lorraine.
Hello.
And I'll let you guys do your thing.
Artesia. Sorry.
Go ahead, see. Yes, ma'am. First of all, you're not in trouble in any ways.
Yeah, it's just reliving
I'm sorry about that.
that
Yes.
episode, but yeah. It's what it is.
I apologize for that. So can you just tell us everything from the beginning of your contact on the January 27th, either
That it-
the day it happened, with either party, the mom or the baby, whichever one came first, and then to the end of contact with either? Oh, but can I start with your full name?
Lorraine Romero.
Lorraine Romero? All right. Okay, and so can you start from the beginning for me?
Okay, so I got, because I do 24/7 call for ultrasound, so I got a call. I couldn't even tell you the time, maybe it was 8:30, 9:00.
At night?
Mhm.
Okay.
So I come in and they asked me to come in for a stat ultrasound. Apparently the patient had delivered the baby and thought that there was still placental tissue because the amount of bleeding she was having. So I thought, okay, great, I'll be right there. So when I got here, I go and I get my ultrasound machine. I go directly to the ER. And well, first of all, when I came to the hospital, I noticed that there were about 6 cop cars. Okay, so I thought, oh, please don't let it be my patient. But anyway, so I get my machine, I go directly to the ER department, and I said, where's the room that I'm supposed to go into? And they said room 2. So I'm taking my machine over to the room, and there's 2 cops in front of the door, and there's 2 police officers inside the room that the patient was in. So I'm getting ready to go in. It was a little bit of chaos because there's quite a few. The nurses were around. The physician, the ER doctor, was sitting at her desk, and 2 ER nurses stopped me and said, "You do not need to do the ultrasound. You could go ahead and leave." I thought, that's fine. Grabbed my machine, started to head back to my department, and then the physician, I can't even remember who the ER doctor was. I can't remember her name. But anyway, she said, "Lorraine, do me a favor." And her hands were covering her face, and I saw that she was distraught. And I said, "What can I do? What's wrong?" And she said, "I really do need for you to go in and do the ultrasound." And I said, "Okay, that's fine." And we're still looking at the same diagnosis. And she mentioned to me, she said, "No, this is disturbing." She pulled me aside. She was whispering to me, and she said, apparently what the patient did was she walked in, she goes to the restroom and delivers the baby in the restroom, and then puts the baby in a bag, because the garbages that we have throughout the departments are pretty tall, and there's those large garbage bags that are pretty sturdy. So I guess she delivers it in the bathroom and pulls placenta and everything out, throws the baby in the bag, goes in the garbage. And how she ended up in the room for me to scan her, I have no idea. I didn't get details.
No, that's fine. It's just what you did.
Mhm. So anyway, so I go into the room with her, and I know that I need to scan her, but I need to scan her through the vagina, not through the belly, because I noticed that there was a significant amount of blood on the table. and there was a police officer in there, and I was a little bit uncomfortable with him being there, and so was she. So I asked him if he could step out and just stand by the door. So he did that. So I didn't want to have a conversation with her after I was given this information, but she was talking to me, and while I'm trying to get things set up, and she says, I don't know what's going on. She said, I didn't know I was pregnant. I'm a cheerleader. I started gaining a lot of weight. My clothes were tight. I was taking birth control pills. So she said, this didn't make any sense to me. I don't know what to tell you. And I did my scan, and then I left.
And that was the end of your contact with her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other than her telling you that she was pregnant, taking birth control, and her clothes got tighter, did she tell you anything else that may come to mind?
And did you use the belly ultrasound or the vaginal?
Through the vagina.
Through the
Yeah, and still there was, some tissue, because when you deliver, whether it's a normal delivery or not, sometimes still placenta tissue can still be in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was having significant amount of bleeding. But after that, I stopped. I told the doctor, and I sent the report out to be read, and that was it.
So
and it wasn't till the morning too when I walked in, and this is Artesia. I'm not from Artesia. I just work here during the week, and word gets around, and I just was hearing stories of what really happened. I never knew the details until I walked in the next day.
Okay.
And I just didn't say anything.
and how long have you been a
Ultrasound
tech?
for about 20 years.
Okay. So is there any other trauma or anything to that part of the body that would lead you to believe that she didn't give birth, or?
No, because, and after talking to the ER doctor, I mean, she was obviously in labor, and I think she knew that. And so my assumption was, she panics, because when she was talking to me, she was talking pretty rapid, and she was like, I don't understand. So, was it all mental, psychological, who knows, but she definitely knew what she was doing, and what was doing was wrong, because of the way she was talking to me, just stating, I didn't realize I was pregnant, and, but I'm taking birth control, so, I mean, she was panicked, but, I didn't see her being in a state of mind where she did not know what she was doing. And that's just my perception working with women, well, not just women and men, and scanning in general, who's a little bit off. And I didn't get that with her. She's pretty much, and she felt it. I mean, you could tell that she was, I don't know if I should say if she was worried or she was concerned, because she knew what she did was in the wrong. That was just the impression I got for her.
Is there anything that we didn't ask that you think we should know about?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't read up on cards either. My apologies. Your HR lady has my contact information.
And mine as well.
And so if you have anything you want to add that you didn't think of right now that we didn't ask, let us know.
I can call you.
And give us a call. You can email us, anything like that, okay?
Okay.
And we truly appreciate what you do.
No problem.
Okay.
And if it bothers you, talk to someone about it, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please do. Don't hold it in, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming in.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Also, sir. Okay.
Yep.
Hope we meet you on better terms later, right?
Yes. Bye.
Well, I appreciate that they're addressing the trauma part, because there was a lot of traumatized employees based on, there's in the video, it shows that the doctor and the hospital nurse were hugging each other after what they had seen. So I appreciate that they're supportive of each other that way. I mean, that's great. Let me play this nurse video.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay.
I'm looking for you guys everywhere.
No big deal.
All right.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Coming into work?
Yeah.
Okay, and are you Elizabeth Crawford?
Yes.
Detective Gonzalez.
Nice to
Jim
meet
Minter, nice to meet you.
All right.
You're not in trouble.
I know.
Okay.
We just want to start that off with all the interviews.
So if you could you just tell us everything from your contact on January 27th with either the patient or the child, any contact you had from beginning to end?
I didn't have much contact with her until she exited the restroom. I didn't take care of her before that. But
So the
after
patient.
that, I took care of her. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened?
So she came out of the restroom.
Mhm.
There was a little trail of blood from the bathroom back to her room. We went to her room. I went to get her undressed. The doctor came in, explained to her that she had a miscarriage. Her mom had a back and forth about it.
The doctor said she had a miscarriage?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said it seems essentially like, I'm not sure the exact words. So it was a few months ago, but she said, it seems that you've suffered from a miscarriage, which didn't seem totally abnormal. I've seen awful miscarriages before that are very bloody.
Right.
And so.
Was she bloody?
Mm-hmm.
Like
And then there
her
was,
legs?
yeah, she had blood all down her legs, and then there was like blood in the bathroom everywhere. So.
Okay, and you saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then got her in the bed, got her in a gown, helped her clean up. Doc came in, we did the pelvic, essentially, and then HT had come in and took the doctor away, and then I helped her get back in the bed, get her comfortable. I went to go get her blankets. That's where the baby itself was in that room where the blankets are. So then I went back in there and essentially just took care of her tried to as a postpartum patient from then on.
Right.
That's about it. After that, we had ultrasound come in to essentially make sure there's no products of conception left in there. I think they did the mom somewhat after the pelvic exam was done.
Were you in there when let's go back. Okay. You said you saw blood in the bathroom. Where did you see that?
It was just on the floor, with white marks. Okay. Essentially, she tried to wipe it up.
Was it on the toilet? Was it in where exactly was the blood and how much?
It was a good amount. It was on the floor, essentially.
Okay.
So I don't remember seeing any a lot on the toilet or anything like that.
Okay. So when you came into the room, did she say anything? Did you say anything to her?
Once we all figured out what was going on and I went in there, she essentially was scared. She was worried that she was going to get in trouble. She did have the back and forth with her mother. That was just about they had said, the mom was upset because she had had sex and hadn't told her. So they were going back and forth on that. And then she was just denying it, which was a little wasn't really deniable at that point in time.
Right.
So the patient was denying having sex at this point to her mom.
Yeah, she was trying to state that she was still a virgin.
After she came in from the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And all the blood and all that. Okay.
I remember reading articles that said that she had denied having sex. Okay? Even when they gave her that pregnancy test. I'm gonna have to go back and check those. And don't quote me on that, but she was denying being pregnant. They gave her a pregnancy test and told her she was pregnant, and she still denied it.
So did the pelvic, and then I think shortly after that, the mom was in the waiting room after that. And then she was just worried. She was asking what was going to happen. I told her, obviously, I did not know.
Is this when you found out she was worried about getting in trouble? Did she tell you anything
She didn't say anything about what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
She was just essentially worried that she was just going to get in trouble.
So that's what I mean. Were those the questions she was asking?
Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen to me? That kind of thing.
Did she ever ask about the baby?
No.
Not once.
And so her folks, her getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And Anything other than that that she talked to you about?
She did at one point in time when the ultrasound tech was in the room with her, ask if there was anything. She pretty much said, would there be any like bad outcomes if she had stopped taking one medication and stopped taking another? And I said, well, what medications are you talking about? She said, well, what would happen if I stopped taking birth control, started taking weight loss medications? And I was like, I don't know.
It's an odd question.
I thought so.
And how long have you been in RN?
9 years, almost 10.
And you live here in Artesia?
In Carlsbad.
Carlsbad.
So you got her the blankets.
Mhm.
After that, what did you do? What, did you have any more contact with the patient?
Yeah, I just popped in periodically and like checked the amount of bleeding, make sure she wasn't like hemorrhaging or anything.
Okay. And then, so until she left, is that what you did? Did you do anything else other than checking on her, make sure she was okay?
Just that.
Did you participate in the pelvic exam?
Yeah, I was in the room.
Okay. Were you able to see, did it appear that she gave birth based on the pelvic exam in your experience?
Would you be able to tell?
No.
Okay.
You weren't, okay.
So I've never done OB, so
Okay.
what a pelvic exam looks like after birth, I have no idea. I could say that there was a lot of blood, more than normal, like in a normal pelvic exam, obviously.
Right.
Like we tried to get the suction working because there was so much blood, but it wouldn't work that kind of thing.
Right.
So.
Okay. So after she left, did you do anything else? Have any other contact?
Mm-mm.
And so that was just your side of it? That's everything you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything we haven't asked as of yet that you think we should know about?
Nothing that I think of.
Okay.
The only thing was just those medications that she was asking about. That was weird.
Just what happened if you stopped birth control, started weight loss?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't like expand on that? She didn't tell you why she was thinking that?
No, it seemed obvious in my head though. So.
Could you like tell me why it seemed obvious?
Well, it seemed like she'd been trying to hide this pregnancy from her mother for some time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know you're pregnant, you're not going to continue taking birth control medicines. But if you're trying to hide it, you might start taking weight loss medications. That's just kind of what it seemed like in my head.
Okay, just want to make sure because it seems like it to me. Just want to make sure I'm not thinking.
And was the argument between her and her mom pretty heated?
I wouldn't say heated. It was awkward.
Awkward.
Yeah, like they were going back and forth, and her mom was definitely angry.
And patient is 19.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom is quite a bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And they never once asked about the baby during the entire time you had contact with her once she left the bathroom, even after they found out that the baby was found and all that. They never asked anything about the baby.
I did go, now that I think about it, I did go check on the mom just to give her an update. And I think she asked about the situation, like asked what was going on. But I told her I couldn't tell her anything. So I just went to go tell her that like she's being transferred to Roswell.
Right.
And give her an update on her daughter essentially. And that she asked about like what was going on with all of that. She said, what happened to the bathroom? What happened to the bathroom? I said, I can't tell you.
Right. But nothing specific saying what about the baby.
Correct.
Okay, I don't have it.
Yeah, that's a good question. Why do they say miscarriage?
You got a birthday coming up.
I do.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Hopefully it's better than this. All right, and you're doing okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
With this, we've asked everybody that we've interviewed that's had something to do with this because it's pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
Most people don't
deal with
see
this
that kind of stuff on it. I mean, I know you see death and in your job, but the newborn baby is a little more intense in my belief. So
All right. Well, try not to keep you from your job. Appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate what you do. There's my card. You refer to
HR has mine. If you
Okay.
need any contact, let us know.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let me go back a little bit. Hold up, y'all. So I'm going to jump to that CNA interview that November's talking about because it gives a lot of information. Now, I don't know why they said miscarriage, but she gave birth to a full-term baby, and they did do an autopsy, and the baby suffocated. And I don't know what the medical term is exactly, but the baby was born alive, excuse me, and that would then lead to charges, right? But the baby essentially died because it suffocated. So what she did, she put the baby in the hospital bathroom trash can, and then she put a double liner or a liner on the baby. So the baby suffocated. Okay. So she gave birth and then basically went back to her room and continued to deny it. Let me play this interview with the CNA because November Rain said that this was a bombshell, so I definitely want to listen to it. And by the way, I'm reacting to this with you guys. I've not seen this part. Full term. I can't say that word, but you know what I mean. I think I don't know how she cut it. That was my question. I mean, how did she cut it?
Lori's here.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I was trying to get here safely.
Oh, that's fine. And your name is?
Lori.
Lori.
Aragon, right?
And Aragon. There's two of us. That's why we're using my middle name.
Okay. You're the one I talked to the day of, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Detective Gonzalez again. It's Corporal Minter. Well, Detective Corporal Minter.
Hi.
So, could you just start from the beginning? And if we have any questions, sorry if I interrupt you. I just have a habit of doing that sometimes.
Okay, what happened that night?
So from January 27th, the incident happened like 3 a.m. from when you first had contact with the patient to when you last had contact with the patient.
I actually had contact with the baby.
Okay.
She had buzzed to go to the bathroom, so one of the nurses was going in there anyways because she was gonna set up for them to do pap smear and everything. So she was like, "I'll go ahead and disconnect her," and she'd go to the bathroom. So I was like, "All right." So she was in the bathroom, and then Chris, which is one of our other nurses, he was like, because I was like, "Dang, she's flushing that toilet like an awful lot."
Oh, so you noticed her toilet
Flushing, yes. And then he was like, "Well, damn." So I went and I knocked on the door and I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yes, I'm fine. I'm just having a hard time going to the bathroom," is what she replied. So I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Well, push the call light if you need anything."
So you told her to push the call light?
Yeah, if she needed anything. And then like a few more flushes had gone by, and then that's when Chris was like, "I don't know," because I told him, "What if she's having a miscarriage in there and, flushing stuff down the toilet?" So he knocked on the door and he's like, "You gotta unlock this door." And then she wouldn't reply, and he's like, "If you don't reply," he goes, and then that's when she heard him call for me. And he was like, "Laura, you got the spare key to this bathroom?" I was like, "Yeah," because we keep like a ring of keys by the desk where I sit. So I went and I got the key, and just as we were getting ready to open the door, she opened it, and all I saw was like blood everywhere, like on the walls, on the toilet. It just looked like a horror film.
And you say where it is also on the floor too?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Now, was it covering the floor or was it like splotches?
You could tell she was wiping it up with paper towels because it was like smeared.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the one that does have the footage of that, she's on vacation right now, is Erica, and she works in lab.
She took photos of it?
Before, because she was like, "Whoa, this is like..."
Well, I didn't know that.
Yes, and I didn't know that either till just recently.
And who is that? Erica?
Erica.
Compost or...
No, let me give you her last name just a minute. I'm terrible with last names.
Oh, you're good.
But she does have the
Erica
videos.
Salas.
Yes. She has the pictures.
Is she a lab tech?
Yes. And she's on vacation right now.
She's the one that's gonna come next week.
On the 27th?
Yeah, or yeah, in 2 days.
Okay.
Sorry.
So she, and I did tell her not to erase that.
Good.
I said, do not erase that because that's evidence.
When did she find them, or when did she tell you about them?
Like I think it was like 2 weeks afterwards.
Oh, okay.
She had shown me the pictures, and then that's when I told her, do not, because I was like, dude, can you believe that? Like, because we had a patient that was pregnant at the time, just like after that, and I was like on top of it. Just didn't want another recurrence.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so anyways, the floor was just smeared with blood, blood on the wall, like on the toilet and stuff. And
do you remember which wall?
it was like the back wall between the toilet and the sink.
So like where if you're looking at the toilet, like
yeah, like say the toilet's right here where you're at, and then the sink's right here. It was like up this way, blood splatter.
What?
Like
in your line of work, what would cause that kind of splatter?
I think something that got pulled out or ripped, like if
Oh
you
my
ripped something and
God.
blood just went. It was
OMG.
like once you see the photo, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just.
So like you say, like rip, like something went like that.
Yeah, like when you rip something, or if you cut something and you go like you swing your hand and blood just splatters.
Okay, so
that's how it looked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that'd be on. So this is north. That's east. It'd be on the west wall.
The back wall. Yeah.
So because like the call button's on the south wall. So it'd be on the west wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the bathroom is like this.
Yes.
Here's the door.
Yes, and then there was
There's the toilet, and then the sink.
Yeah, and it was up on this wall. The
and then
blood.
the call button.
Yeah, it was like in between here was the blood splatter, and then there was trickles of blood on the wastebasket. That was right here in this area, and then there was like smeared blood all over the floor.
Oh.
Yeah, we just kept hearing the paper towel dispenser going and the toilet flushing. So yeah, when we opened up the door, we saw that, and then I noticed she had bloody footprints that she was leaving, going back to the room that we had put her in. So I had called housekeeping, which was Leela, and I was like, hey Leela, I'm sorry to bother you. I said, but I think this patient just had a miscarriage in our bathroom and she left like a mess. If you could come and clean it. And she said, okay. So she came down and she started cleaning it, and then she went to pick up the wastebasket, and then that she put the basket down and she yelled for me, and she was like, Lori, come here, the wastebasket's heavy. And I was like, what do you mean the wastebasket's heavy? So when I picked it up and I moved it towards the door, I was like, shit, it is heavy. So I pulled it out because it had like a fresh liner inside, so we didn't think nothing of it because we looked. So when I pulled the liner out, there was like paper towels, and we had rolled trash bags already in there. But she had grabbed a few and like balled them up and put them on top of him. So when I removed them, that's when I noticed the baby on the bottom of the trash can just wrapped in the bag.
My God.
She had it tight, like because it was the top was twisted and then like tucked under, like so it wouldn't open up.
So basically, if you
like when you grab trash and you like swing
it and then you fold it over to like put it down or whatever.
Yeah, that's how it went.
And it was clear.
Oh my God.
It was clear bag.
So,
yeah, it's one of those clear bags.
So you
So it was
saw
a hospital liner?
So you saw the baby inside the bag.
Yeah, and then when I picked it up, that's when I noticed it even more because all I saw was black and purple. But once we picked it up, like the bag suctioned to his face. And that's when I yelled for my charge nurse, which was HT. And I told him, hey, she put her baby in the trash can. So I handed the baby to him. And he took off to the trauma room and opened up the bag. And then that's when we went and got Dr. Vasquez.
Now you're saying that the bag was suctioned to his
Oh
face.
my gosh.
So was that from
I think when I lifted it up, it kind of loosened, and so just where he was still moist, it just suctioned to him.
Okay. All right.
Question for you. When was the last time y'all were in the restroom before her?
We had another patient that was in there, let's say like around midnight maybe.
Who do you remember who it was or what they're in for?
They were there too. they left us a specimen on the table there in the bathroom, and I went in to pick it up.
You did it at midnight?
Yeah.
Was it clean?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no blood or nothing.
So this was fresh to you.
Yes, this blood was fresh. You
And-
could even smell it.
Did the patient at midnight, were they by chance pregnant at all?
Honestly, she to me did not look pregnant, but then she had on a hoodie.
No, the patient that gave the
Oh,
sample at midnight.
No, she was a young girl. She was like maybe 11. So no,
Okay. And there's no blood at all?
No.
She would have noticed, you would have noticed?
we would have noticed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is the amount of blood consistent with giving birth or a miscarriage or some sort of traumatic event?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Okay, the amount of blood in the bathroom, on the floor, on the walls, and is that consistent with the amount of blood that is lost when you give birth or have a miscarriage or?
To me, I mean, it looked like she had given birth in there and was trying to clean it up. Like it wasn't that much blood on the floor, but you could tell she was cleaning it up because it was like smeared and somewhat cleaned up a little bit.
Okay.
Once you see that photo that Erica has, you'll see how we're trying to explain it.
Right.
It's just hard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just hard for us because Leela had cleaned, because when I talked to her that night, she said she cleaned the blood first, then went to.
Yeah, and I usually, when there's like one or two things in the wastebasket, I usually pick it up and take it out, but I didn't that night. And then, like, I've been kicking myself on this because I feel like, if I would have just taken it out, I would have seen it.
Well, no one prepares for that type of thing. You know what I mean? Most people don't act like that. So don't blame yourself for it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a natural thing to do.
I mean, it's just hard because I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. And I've dealt with death before, but never like this.
Right.
Like it was horrible.
Don't beat yourself up about it though, because it's something most people don't plan, or most people can't think of it. To them, it's like unfathomable. So don't beat yourself up about it because it's something you couldn't have prepared for.
Yeah.
Because like you said before, you're expecting a miscarriage.
Yeah, I was just expecting her to have a miscarriage and call it a day. I mean, we've dealt with patients before that have had miscarriages.
Yeah.
So once the baby was taken into the trauma room trauma room.
Yeah, he went into trauma too.
Okay. Did you have what happened? What did you do at that point?
I just remember I stayed in there because she went to go get Dr. Vasquez. And then I noticed that the umbilical cord looked like an animal had tore it apart. Like, have you ever eaten string cheese? And when you twist it, that's how the bottom of the umbilical cord looked. And I just remember it caught my eye and I was like, God, I was like, this chick really ripped this thing apart because those things are hard to cut.
Right.
Did you find the other part of the umbilical cord?
No, I'm not sure if she had delivered the placenta because I wasn't in there when they did the final examination. But either she delivered it in Loveless or she flushed it.
You always didn't find it at all.
We didn't find it at all. I even looked in the little cabinet that we have in our bathroom because it has like a bottom cabinet. So I opened that up just as I didn't want no more surprises.
And how big would that be? How big would the placenta be? Do you have any idea?
No, I would say maybe me personally giving birth myself to a full-term baby, it would have to have been about the same size as the baby. Because I've seen placentas where we've delivered a few times here, full-term babies, and their placentas are pretty good size or like that. Like they fit inside of one of our basins.
Right. And is it thick?
It's
or
like
or is it like
it's kind of thinnish.
kind of like a sirloin steak?
Yeah.
Thin?
Like looks like roast beef to me.
Okay.
Oh, that's not a good picture in my head.
I'm just trying to describe it. But we didn't see it. Okay. And that honestly, I thought that's what was in the wastebasket was her placenta. I did not expect to see this full-term baby wrapped up in a trash bag.
So, after, like with HT and the doc at the room, did you do anything else with the baby or the patient after that?
After that, I was told to get a hold of the on-call OB
Mhm.
in Loveless because she needed to speak to her because she had to transfer that patient out because she was bleeding.
Okay. And so you're the one that talked to the OB? Or,
I was the one that got a hold of the Loveless hospitalist. I believe her name was Stephanie. And I had set up to where we got this patient transferred to Loveless so that way they can go in and clean her out and stuff to make sure she wasn't hemorrhaging or anything like that.
okay. After that, any other involvement?
The only time I saw the patient was when I went in to have her sign her paperwork, the teleforms
Mhm.
that she has to sign. So because flight crew was on their way to transport her. That was the only time I had any.
Did she say anything?
She
to
just
you?
cried.
She was just crying.
Because there was 2 police officers in the room with her at the time.
Okay. How many times did you hear the toilet flush, you think?
More than 10 times. Because that's when I was like, dude, something's going on in there.
Okay.
And so that's what, because over 10 times in a year, like, and how long, what span of time did the toilet flush?
It was like once it flushed, she waited a few minutes and then she'd flush it again.
And like, how long do you think that was? Like, if you had to give a guess, how long do you think it was the whole time?
Out of the whole time between the flushes?
No, like all.
From the time she went into the bathroom to the time she came out.
Oh, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
And how long of that was she flushing?
About maybe 10 minutes of her being in there.
It was just constant flushing? So 10 minutes of constant flushing or 15 minutes being in there?
Yeah. Yeah, because when she ran to the bathroom, I did see her pass me. Because I remember I told the girls, because she had her hand on her crotch and one on her butt.
Mhm.
And she was running to the bathroom. And I was like, damn, I guess we gotta go. And because one the lab tech, Erica, was sitting there and we were talking. And she was like, dang. She was like, really? And that's when we noticed she was in there for quite some time. So I don't know if maybe the baby was already coming out and she just ran to the bathroom as fast as she could, or what.
So, for any other patient there, do you think anyone else could have delivered that baby?
We would have known.
You would have known? Okay.
Was there any other pregnant people on the
That
ER
night?
that night?
No.
And you said the last patient to visit was a 11-year-old female that gave y'all a sample?
Yeah. And her mom went in there with her.
And you were the last one in the restroom prior to...
That I know of, yeah.
That you know of? Okay. All right. And you didn't notice anything like that, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Just got to make sure.
No, I didn't notice nothing like that in there when we go to get urine from the bathroom. And I mean, patients were in and out of that bathroom, so I'm thinking, like, even the males, if they would have seen something like that, they would have said, hey.
Especially a dude like, hey, what?
This bathroom's disgusting, you know.
Right. Is there anything you think we should know that we haven't asked you?
No.
No? Okay, well.
I gave you guys everything I pretty much know. I mean, that's just something I'm never going to forget.
Right. Well, and I appreciate you telling me about Erica, because we didn't, we took photos after everything was clean. I didn't even know there was photos. So that's news to me.
Yeah, and then I had forgotten your name. And then I was like, and I hadn't seen any of the other officers that were there that night.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, shit, who the hell do I call? Like, and then I figured, well, they'll get a hold of us.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, that's why I told Erica, do not erase those.
Right.
That's evidence that they need.
It is.
Yes.
It would be really helpful.
Because once we noticed that, that's when I had housekeeping stop her cleaning. And I go, that's a crime scene.
Well, she was very thorough because it was very clean whenever we went in there.
She had gotten it, but like the wastebasket and all that, I was like, just leave it because I remember it still had a little bit of blood on it.
Yeah, it had like a slight smear on it. We took photos of it. So you've been a nurse how long?
I'm a CNA.
Oh, CNA for how long?
Maybe like 16 years.
Oh, so you've been in the ringer.
Yeah, I've done nursing home. This is actually my first time doing hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I said like I was used to deaths, but nothing like this.
Well, just reason I'll ask. So you said it was fresh blood, right? Have you dealt with dry blood, like dead blood?
Mm-hmm.
So does this smell fresh to you or dead?
This not fresh. Like I don't know how to explain it. Just
But just in your experience, it was
yeah,
fresh blood. It hadn't been stagnant for a while.
Mm-mm.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you have our contact information, and I gave the HR, Cindy?
Yeah.
Cynthia. Sorry, there's a Cindy that works here too.
Yeah.
I have Cynthia my contact information. If you have any more info, you can let me know, okay?
Okay.
I appreciate you.
Thanks, Lori, for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully it gets easier, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've dealt with stab wounds, gunshot wounds, but never like this.
Yeah, I understand.
This one was like the most gory thing I've ever had to. It was like a Stephen King film.
Well, talk to people and keep your hobbies up, okay?
I
That's
will.
all I
Thank
can
you.
tell
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
If you have any questions, you guys have my number, right?
Yes, ma'am. I got it from you the day of.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I don't answer, just shoot me a text. Sometimes I don't. If I don't know the number, I don't answer.
Okay, that's understandable.
Sounds like my mother.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. All right, hold up, y'all. Let me go. I don't even know what to say. Okay, there's the charge nurse and then housekeeping. I said we watch housekeeping. This is crazy, you guys. Daniela Gonzalez's mom was not in the bathroom with her. We're just repeating what was said. Daniela says mom was not in the bathroom with her. The CNA said that, so just keep that in mind, unless she was referencing somebody else.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, Miss Lewis.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm just looking at her. Mentor.
I'm Leah Lewis.
Nice to meet you.
Second off, I met you the night of.
Yes. Let me turn off my phone.
It's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, can you tell me everything that happened on January 27th?
Okay.
Like your involvement from
The time I was called.
to the end.
Okay, I was called and to go clean the patient's bathroom in ER around, I can't, maybe 2 o'clock or so, I think it was the time, I'm not too sure. So when I went in there, it was a gory, bloody massacre mess.
Could you describe it if possible?
Yeah, there was blood everywhere. There was blood on the floor, on the wall.
Do you remember which wall?
The one behind the toilet, and then the one on the side right here. You know, there's the one where the toilet sits, back of that.
Yeah.
And then on the side.
Where the call button is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
let me stop right here. Ashley says it was another patient who was 11 years old and the mom went in the bathroom with her. Okay. Thank you. You're the third person who said that. So I'll have to go re-listen. And Vic, I know, is going to re-listen as well. If that was the 11-year-old and not Lexi, that would be good to clarify. So thank you, Daniela. We're going to clarify that as well. I'm just telling you guys, I'm at my nerves with this situation because it's just an awful situation, right? Let me hit so we can keep watching.
On the floor, everywhere. I mean, it
Was it like this is the bathroom, here's the toilet and the sink, then here's the door. So was it just like this, or
actually it was all over the place, all over the floor, because even when I was going into the bathroom, there was blood on the coming out of the bathroom on the floor.
okay.
So it was everywhere.
Okay.
So there's blood coming out of the bathroom? Do you
Yeah,
know how far it went?
footsteps.
Okay.
I think they were the person that was in there in her footsteps. And she was coming out, because I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I mean, it's even out here.
How far out did you have to clean to get it?
From the outside,
Yes.
right by like around the water fountain,
Where's the water fountain at?
right there.
Oh, right next to the restroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if it's on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it went out to the water fountain. Did you have to clean like the hall or anything at all?
I mopped up that area right there.
Okay.
And was it footprints?
Yeah, I was.
Was it footprints in the hall?
Yeah, when, I guess she stepped on it, and then walked out with it, and then their socks were wet.
Okay.
But it wasn't all the way to her room or nothing like that. It was just right by the water fountain.
So just footprints in the hall to water fountain?
Yeah.
Okay. And what else happened?
Okay, then I went in there, and then I started cleaning. I started, first thing I did was I started mopping because we can't be walking around on that blood.
Okay.
So I started mopping, and then I started, after that, I started wiping everything down. Then I went to the toilet, and I cleaned the toilet, and then I got everything. I had to do everything like twice because it was, bad. I wiped down the walls and everything. And after I did all that, I usually throw my trash first, but for some reason that night I had to clean the floor up and everything else. And when I went to go through the trash, I felt that when I picked up the trash and I looked in it, there was trash in it. But I knew that it didn't feel like when I picked it up, it was some weight. So I thought it was the trash bags because we put the trash bags on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started getting the trash out. And then when I did that, I seen that there was a baby in there. And that's when I freaked out and I called Lori and HT, or the nurses up front. And because there was a baby in the trash. And the baby, when I looked at it, the baby was wrapped up like in a, like at the bottom of the trash can and with trash on top of it in a trash bag.
And so how did you see it like as soon as you picked it up?
No, after I picked up the trash bag that was on top,
okay,
where they were throwing the trash at, when I picked that up to change it, that's when I noticed that there was, when I seen the baby.
Okay, so you lifted the liner and then saw
the
baby, okay. And I know it bugs you, but can you like describe the baby?
Yeah, he was about like that big. He had hair, and he was like purplish, but still not like pink. I don't know how to describe it. He was like, he wasn't bruised or nothing like that, and he was like purple, pink skin type color.
Okay.
How was the bag? How was the bag placed, or what?
It looks like she wrapped it around like that, and then wrapped it like under him, and then put him on the bottom of it.
Okay. And was the baby moving at all?
No.
Okay. Did you touch him at all?
No.
You know what? Her breathing. This was traumatizing for this lady. She had to clean it up. Okay. Pay attention to her breathing. Like it's, some people project when they encounter such situations, some people have different ways of expressing that, but I'm listening to her breathing and it's just really heartbreaking. And I really hope that they are providing these staff members some type of EAP or employee counseling there, because this is trauma, yo. This is real trauma right here. I feel really bad for anybody that was having to have seen this.
Okay. And so you said you called HT and Lori?
Yes.
Okay, what happened? What did you see after that? What did you do?
Okay, when all that happened, I moved the trash can. I told them that there was a baby in the trash. I could barely talk at that moment. And so then they took over, and I left. I went up to the nurse's station. And then they called the doctor and everything and all that stuff.
After that, did you have any contact with the baby?
No.
Okay. And then what happened after that? After you went to the nurse's station?
Oh, I went over there with the baby.
What did you do?
I just stood there and I was freaking out, and everybody was, asking me what's going on and whatever. And I stood. I didn't go back over there where they were at.
Okay. And then was that whenever I showed up, or?
Yeah, that was about the time you showed up.
So you were just at the nurse station until I showed up and talked to you?
Yeah, well, after that, I went back to EVS, to the department I work at.
Okay.
I went over there and trying to get away from that for a moment. And I went there for a little while, and then they called me and told me that you were coming in, for me to go wait in the ER.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
Okay. And other than this, is there anything that I asked you that I haven't asked you that you think I should know?
No, I think it's all.
Think that's it? Okay.
Yeah, if I can remember of something, I'll write it down. That way I
Okay.
won't forget.
All right, and Great Chair, Cynthia has my contact information, so if you need to call me, and there's his card as well, you can let us know, okay?
Okay.
Are you doing anything to make sure you're okay?
No, I'm not doing anything right now. I thought maybe I could do it on my own, but there's some days that are harder than others. So when I feel that way, I feel, see, I just went through a trauma in 2018. My boyfriend in Carlsbad blew his brains out in front of me. So he committed suicide. So I was traumatized over that for a long time.
God.
And then now this, so it's kind of, sometimes I have a problem with it.
Nothing wrong with asking for help, okay?
And I don't know if you're a church goer or, you know, I don't know what faith you are, but sometimes that helps as well.
Yeah, in fact, that's what helped me with my boyfriend, the churches.
Right.
That's what I turned to.
So you might.
Because I was looking for answers, and there's no way I could ever find out why he did it, because he's not here to tell me.
Right. Well, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I really am.
So,
but please try to get somebody to talk to, because it'll eat away at you. I promise you, and just get some sort of closure for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, like talking to friends, family,
Mhm.
like going to the church and just talk to them. Don't even talk to them about what happened. Just say like, hey, I have some stuff. Can I just talk to you about anything?
Right.
You know, if you're Catholic, just go to the priest and say, I need to talk. I don't need you to help me. I just need you to listen and let me get it off my chest about what trauma I went through.
Okay.
Because, you know, just getting it out in the open,
Right.
because I know you're mad. You're mad that your boyfriend did what he did. You're mad that he's gone. He's mad. You're mad.
Mm-hmm.
So getting that out, saying I'm mad, and talking to a priest or a pastor, whoever,
Right.
will help you. Trust me, because I've been through that. I lost my son in 20, and I've done lots of that.
Right. And you know, and I was, because I didn't know why he did it. He didn't ever show any signs or anything like that. So me, I'll try to look for answers, and I'm never going to find them because he's not here to tell me. So that's what my main problem was. I needed to know, and that was making me go crazy.
Well, there are like survivor groups here in town and just around that you can talk to.
Yeah.
People like in your shoes that somebody's left them behind that they don't know.
Right.
But it's good to have people that you can relate to and talk to that won't judge you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would like try and find them that, you know, you work at the hospital. Maybe they have stuff that they can help you with.
Yeah, they have behavioral health here.
Right.
And well, when all that happened, I had to see a psychiatrist and a therapy, and the therapist put me on all kinds of medication. I was like a walking zombie, you know, and I didn't want to feel that way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to come out and do something for myself because he was the main provider. I had to come out and work because, I mean, how was I going to survive?
Right.
So that's when I came here and I applied, and they gave me this job that I have now. If it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would be now. I mean, the hospital has really helped me out.
Good.
And so they offered me, when I applied, I told my situation, you know, I mean, I'm like, my therapist didn't think it was a very good idea for me to work here, but I'm going to give it a chance because she said that I could probably have a relapse if I were to see like a lot of blood and a lot of, you know, let me give me that chance and see if I can. So I've been here 4 years now.
Good.
So it helped me out a lot, but yeah, there's all, they have a lot of help here, like with behavioral health and everything. But I just wanted to get off of that medication, and I did it myself because I didn't want to feel that way no more.
Right.
But I had to face reality.
Nothing wrong with that.
So have we asked you, have we had not asked you anything that we should ask you, or do you have anything that?
No, I think y'all asked me everything.
Okay.
And like I said, if I remember something, I'll write it down.
Yeah, just let us know.
And let you know and call you and tell you about it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And just like I said, talk to people, talk to friends, talk to family. If you go to church, talk to your priest.
Okay.
All right, it'll help.
Okay. Yeah, and then with this, you know, I just talk things off for me. So.
Yeah, just shake it off, take a deep breath. Okay. One day at a time, okay?
Okay. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you coming in.
You're welcome.
Thank you, man.
Okay, you're welcome.
Prayers will be with you. Okay, here's your phone.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
That was a lot. Yes, thank you guys. I really do hope that they're offering them support and services. Yes, you could see that. And, she has her own trauma. No, they're not because they're interviewing them. And I don't think that they would have anybody from HR in there. I think it would probably compromise their investigation if they did. Let's watch the the interview with the head nurse in charge. This guy right here, this is the head nurse, and I had an issue with this guy because of the way in which he acted after what happened. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
My name is stuck in my head. Hello. Hello. Good, how you doing? Not too bad.
Not bad.
Doing all right?
Yeah, good.
Haven't seen you in a while. That's a good thing, right?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes yes, sometimes not. I don't know what it is.
Can we get you to take the mask off? You're not in trouble.
I know that.
I know, but it's just something we gotta say. So. All right.
You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Haley?
We were talking about some other things.
Oh, okay.
So it has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
I had some problems with some people on the floor, so.
Ah, gotcha.
It's always that way.
Something.
It's always that way.
There's
Yep.
always something.
Part of being a human, right?
And it's part of being in the hospital.
There's that. So, Mr. Halliday.
Yes, sir.
Can you just
tell us your name?
My name is, I go by HT, but my name is Hilliard Truman Halliday. I'm a licensed RN in the state of Oregon and a multi-state compact license throughout the United States.
And how long you been an RN?
10 years.
10 years. And you live here in Artesia?
I live in Hagerman.
You live in Hagerman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've worked here. I've worked in Ruidoso. I've worked in Tucson at Northwest Medical Center, Oro Valley. They also have a standalone marina, standalone ER. And I also work at Bay City Area Hospital in Coos Bay, Oregon.
Wow. Okay.
So you've traveled.
Mm-hmm.
They muted it, by the way, assuming some information can't be released. Yeah, these interviews are from April, by the way. If you guys aren't paying attention to the dates.
All right. So I know you already told me before, but can you just, from the beginning of your contact with either the mother or the child, can you tell us from the beginning to the end everything that you have had, that you witnessed?
Well, I was the charge nurse at the ER that night.
And what is the charge nurse?
Charge nurse is responsible for the overall running of everything that goes on. Any problems or any issues or anything needs to be dealt with as far as just about anything, you take care of that. Okay, you're in charge of the whole work center. Yeah. Okay. I was doing triage that night, and so we have three positions. We have 3 nurses, 3 positions. You have a triage nurse, and then we have 2 other nurses that take different rooms. Usually it's 1, 3, and 5, or 2, 4, and trauma 2. And then trauma 1 is one of those rooms where usually we don't have anything in there unless it's bad, and everybody kind of just is in there. So I was doing triage, and I was a charge nurse. It was a regular night. I remember she came in with back pain, and they had put her in. They were going to treat her in triage 1 with some regular medications for back pain. But after the doctor examined her, she was a little concerned, I think, because of her heart rate, some other things. So she wanted to move her into a room and do a more extensive workup, which is what they did. At that point, I don't really know anything because she's taken out, she's not really my patient. Okay. So I know that Chris had her. I know that he came to me and said there was some issues because they had ran a pregnancy test on her and they found out that she was pregnant. And she was adamant. The mother was in the room with her and was adamant it is dying to.
Did you see that? Or did it was?
No, Chris came to me and told me this is what going on because we were having an issue.
Okay.
And he was worried about the mother, the dynamics between the mother and the daughter, because the daughter was completely denying she was pregnant, and the mother was relatively upset about that she was pregnant.
Okay.
So
and you're talking about Chris Sanchez.
Chris Sanchez, yeah.
Okay.
And so I told him, well, as long as she behaves, okay, you know, if it's gonna make her, he goes, yeah, she's okay. I think it's gonna be fine. So that's the last I heard of it. The next interaction I had was I had the tech, which was Lori Aragon, come and tell me, HT, you need to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. There was quite a bit of blood in there. So this was after she came out. She went to the bathroom, was in there for a long time. And Chris was telling me, you know, she won't come out. So I told him, you need to get the key because the bathroom's locked. And so he told her he was going to get the key. And so she came out. But there was some blood in there. So I went to Dr. Vakas and told her, I was worried that she did something to herself physically in the bathroom. You know, the way she reacted being pregnant and the things that I was being told.
How much blood was in the bathroom?
It was smeared around, so it's hard to tell exactly how much. But it was enough to cause me to have concern.
Okay.
I really thought she had done something physically to herself when she found out she was pregnant.
Question: when did she find out she was pregnant?
It was pretty early on because we did the urine first off. Any female that comes in with back pain, we do a urine right away because we're worried about a urinary tract infection. And with any female, when we do that, we always do a pregnancy test to make sure we don't give them medications that would contraindicate pregnancy.
Do you know who told her she was pregnant?
I believe Dr. Vasquez did.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know because I wasn't in the room for that because I wasn't involved with direct care. But I knew she knew fairly soon because we already were having an issue with the mother being upset about her being pregnant.
Prior to going to the bathroom?
Way prior. Because then they had started an IV and then they started running blood work on her because once you find out someone's pregnant, then you run another lab test to see how far along they are.
Okay.
So they started an IV and we're giving her some fluids. I guess I don't know exactly what they were doing. I wasn't involved with that kind of care. But I told Dr. Vasquez she definitely needs a vaginal exam. I'm concerned that she did something to herself. That was my concern. And they took her right into the room. And then I told Lori, call housekeeping. They got to come clean this up. Which time she called Leela, who was on call for housekeeping. Then I was just sitting there, and then the next thing Lori comes and goes, HT, oh my God, you better come to the bathroom. I go in the bathroom and she goes, something's in the trash can. I'm like, I looked in there, there's a clean liner. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, pick it up. I picked it, I could feel the weight. I knew then we had a serious problem. I just grabbed the trash can and went right across the hall into trauma 2. The liner was pulled out, but there was another trash bag in there in the bottom, but it was all it was rolled up. So I had to tear it apart. And then, of course, I saw the baby in there. So I pulled the baby out, got him on the bed, checked for signs of life. There was absolutely no life whatsoever. I immediately came out of there after I did that, went into the room where she was performing the vaginal exam, and I immediately told her, you have to come out now. And she came out and we went into trauma 2 and she reassessed the baby. At that time, between me and Chris and her, we determined, there was no reason for us to begin any life saving. The baby was completely gone.
What did the bag look like?
The bag was the original trash bag that was in there. It had trash in it. When I pulled it out, it was spun where it was tight, and then it was folded underneath the baby in there. So it was like a little capsule the baby was in. So when I had to tear that bag open to see the baby in the bottom. If you would look in the I looked in there. When she told me, so something, I looked, I said, what are you talking about? Because there was a clean liner in the trash bag. So
basically he was in the bottom, trash on top of him.
And then another clean liner had been put on top. Yeah. So then after that, after we determined we were not going to do any work on the baby, I shut the room down and I said, call the police. And then I didn't let anybody, no one went back in that room. I made sure of that. Right. till the police arrived.
And you said, so with the blood in the restroom, you said it was like smeared. Can you describe where all it was smeared at?
On the floor, there was some on the toilet, there was some on the wall.
Do you remember which wall?
Well, there's the one wall that's by the toilet,
Mm-hmm.
that's closest to it, where there's a side rail, there was some blood there. There was quite a bit of smearing on the toilet itself. And then on the floor, it was just, smeared around.
Okay. What do you think that is from?
I thought she did something to herself physically.
Okay.
Because she found the interaction between her mother and her daughter
and this
was weird.
And so, but just to make sure, mother is patient's mother,
yeah,
and then
patient.
daughter is patient.
Yeah, so the daughter is the patient
Mm-hmm.
and the mother. The interaction between them after she found out she was pregnant, the way the daughter was reacting she was adamantly denying she was even pregnant. She was denying that she had sex.
And you heard her say that?
Yes, she was denying that openly. So
what did mom say when she said that?
Well, mom was upset, and the mom was saying, "I can't believe you. You know you can talk to me. You're supposed to talk to me about this stuff before you were having sex." All those kind of things. She was saying stuff like that, which is pretty common. I mean, this isn't an uncommon thing. I see young girls having sex and they've come in and they're pregnant, and then the mother is with them and find out, and it's upsetting to them. Right. You know what I mean? So it wasn't uncommon. That happens.
Finding out your daughter's pregnant is not uncommon. Not the other incident. Not the.
No. I've never seen anything like that.
Okay, just want to make sure. Like
no.
So just
no. I've seen lots of young girls come in and find out they're pregnant, and then of course they deny it. It's not uncommon that they deny that. No, mom, I haven't even been having sex. You know what I mean? That's a lot of them's initial reaction, right? Because they feel like they're going to be in trouble. I guess I don't know what they're feeling, but that's not an uncommon reaction that I see with young girls and their mothers, particularly with their mothers in there or father, that they'll deny that they've had sex. That's pretty common.
All right. And so you said it was Lori that called you. You went in, and the liner was still on.
Yeah, there was a clean liner on the top. That's why I was like, "What are you talking about?" Okay. And then she said, "Pick it up." And when I picked it up, it was heavy. I was like, "Holy shit!" You know what I mean? I knew right away. I knew. Then I just went straight to trauma 2 with the whole trash can. I just went across the hall and got broke the baby out.
So after you, Doc, and Chris, decided there was no resuscitation, what did y'all do after that? What did you do after that?
I made everybody leave the room, and I told Lori, call the police.
But then after that, anything else?
No, I didn't do anything until the police arrived, and they came and asked me what was going on, and I took them into the room and told them this is what happened, this is what we found, and I haven't talked to them yet.
Okay.
I haven't said anything to them.
So between
the officer arrived.
So from the time of declining resuscitation to officer involvement, you didn't have contact with patient or mother?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure.
No, I didn't go in the room till after the policeman showed up, and then I went in there to talk to the patient, and asked her why was the baby in the trash can.
And what did she say?
She said that it just came out of her and she didn't know what to do. That's what she told me.
And did she say it was breathing, not breathing?
She didn't say anything like that. No.
She just said it came out, she didn't know what to do.
Right.
Okay. And at that point, did mom say anything?
Mom went kind of a little bit irate, like, "Oh my God, how could you, But I think the mother was in an assumption that it was a miscarriage. And I told her, "Ma'am, that is not the case. This is a full-term baby that was placed in the trash can." And then and that's when I told the mom, "Ma'am, if you can't control yourself, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the room," because she's 19. She is an adult.
Right. And what did she calm down?
No, she actually left. She went outside.
And outside to like the waiting room?
To the waiting room, yeah.
Okay.
And then she came back in.
Once she calmed down.
Yeah, and then when she came back in, and then once I talked to the police officer and stuff, some of the family had started showing up. And she went back out there, and at that point, I told them, because the officers asked me to not let anybody in certain rooms, and so I told everybody and I even went out there and addressed the family. I said, I'm sorry, the police are here now. This is kind of an investigation thing. We need to find out what happened. And no one will be allowed back into the working area anymore.
Right.
And so I kept them in the waiting room.
Did they have any comments?
Not one.
Really?
I was really surprised. Not one person asked me about the baby. If it was alive, if it was dead, if it was a boy, if it was a girl, no one asked me anything. Not even, she didn't even ask. No, she didn't ask. The only thing she started doing was crying and started talking about she didn't know what to do. Not one. I've never seen I've delivered multiple babies and I've seen multiple miscarriages and I've never seen a reaction like that. And I don't even know what to say about that. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
How would you describe the reaction?
I think there was no emotion except for herself. And she really wasn't even crying tears. She was just, and the one thing she was upset about was that I think she was going to be in trouble with her mother. That was her only concern, in my opinion. There was no concern for the baby. No one asked me any questions about the baby. Not even the family members, when I went out there and talked to them, did they say, normally people, I would think, would say, was it a boy, a girl? No one asked me one question about the baby at all. Not one.
The whole time?
The whole time. No one asked me anything about the baby's condition, if it was a boy or a girl, anything, nothing.
Okay. Did you have any interaction with her when I know she was flown to Roswell. Did you have any interaction with her then?
Because when we looked at the baby, the umbilical cord was still completely attached. So then I had concerns about her health. When a baby comes out like that, we worry about the placenta being still attached, which causes the mother to bleed. Mm-hmm. So at that point, our concern was about her.
Right.
And getting her somewhere. Probably I envisioned that she probably was going to have to have what we call a D&C to get the rest of the placenta out of her to make sure she'd be okay. So I was in there explaining to her, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have to fly you to Loveless for you can see an obstetrician to take care of this stuff. So I explained what we were going to be doing with her at that point. But it was just basically, my job telling her, this is what I need to do to make sure you're safe and you are okay with that.
There was no more conversation about the baby?
I didn't have any conversations with her about the baby at that point. No. My only conversations with her were about what I needed to do to ensure her health.
And at that point, Mom still hadn't asked about the baby?
No, Mom was already out in the waiting room at that point. Okay. We didn't let her back in. But no, she didn't. Now I know that I had because I had called the house supervisor to come down because this is a big deal. And I know that she kind of intervened on some things in the room. I don't know exactly what they talked about. Right. But I know that Marina was visibly upset about the conversation she had with her.
Yeah, we talked to her yesterday.
Right. So I don't know what their conversation was. I know that Marina was quite upset about the conversation they had. That's all I can say. As you could tell, right. I could tell Marina was upset. Right. As most everybody, which was after that point, my job was I had to get back. We still had patients coming in. I had ambulances coming in. I had 2 ambulances show up. I had more patients coming on the floor. I was down 3 beds because I had them coordinated off. So at that time, my attention turned to I have to get everybody functioning. Right. Which not only did I have to do that with the nurses to get them back, I had to pull the doctor aside and get her focused because she was visibly upset. Right. So that was my mind frame at that time was I have to get these people back. We got to, we have sick people still. Can't do anything else. I mean, it sounds cold, but that was my mindset is I have, we had sick people and we had ambulances coming in and I have to get these people back online. We have to get back to work. We have to function. Right.
Yeah, the ER still has to function.
I have to roll.
Okay.
Is there anything we haven't asked you think we should know?
I'm just going to tell you this. I've never, ever seen a reaction like that girl. I don't even know what to say about it. There was zero emotion. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen women that are only married or not married, but pregnant for 6 weeks and they lose that baby and they're a mess. You know what I mean? That girl went into that bathroom, made no sounds at all, and the baby came out of her. And I don't even know how she functioned that way to do what she did and with no emotion. I've never seen anything like it.
And it was a pretty good sized baby. Pretty good size.
It looked term to me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it was term. I can't tell you that was, but the only thing that upsets me the most is I understand she was scared, and I think her mother had a big dynamic on her, and I understand that. I mean, I think her mother was probably pretty controlling. I don't know that. I'm just speculation. But she gave me no chance to save that baby. I had no chance, and that's not what I do. My job is to save lives, and I had no chance on that baby. She gave me no chance. And we are a facility that you can drop the baby off, no questions asked. You can just leave the baby and go. I don't care, as long as you bring the baby to a safe. We are one of those type of hospitals, so it's hard to fathom what was going on in her mind. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that, and I pray to God I never see it again. I mean, it was like I don't even like TV shit. You know what I mean? Right. Shit, I don't even know what to say, man. Yeah. It was crazy.
All right. We appreciate what you do. I know we've dealt with, we've done a lot of things together. I appreciate what you do.
It's my job
every day.
I appreciate it.
It's not just a job; it's a calling, and we can tell that you take it to heart. And I truly, as a father, I truly appreciate what you do.
Well, it is very upsetting what transpired, and it's like I said, it's harder to choke down when you don't even have a shot. Right. She didn't even get a shot at that kid. Right. So it's hard. Yeah.
Well, I know you've been doing it a while, so if you need to talk to somebody, don't hold it in.
Well,
get to talking to somebody.
It's just one of those things you got to put in a case and put it away.
I know.
Go to work.
I know. I've done it many times.
So you know what I'm saying.
Well, if you have any questions, let us know. Cynthia has my contact info. If we need to get a hold of you, it's okay. Is it okay to get a hold of you again?
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
Yeah. In my opinion, that kid didn't have a chance. And I don't know what she did or didn't do. Can't say for sure. But I know she gave me no chance.
Right.
And that's all that matters to me. I didn't get a chance.
You didn't get a chance to do your job.
I didn't get a chance to save that kid. And I believe wholeheartedly in my every fiber of being I'd have saved that kid. Or we would have got that, he'd had a shot. We'd have got him out of here alive. I don't know, but you know what I mean? I like I said, I don't know. I didn't inspect the child that closely once we looked him over, and there was no signs of life, and he was gray, and there was absolutely no heartbeat. There was nothing, to present life. But I always feel like I always have a shot.
Right.
With whatever comes through my door.
This is the one you didn't have that option?
I didn't have an opportunity. I mean, I've delivered, a month or so prior to that, we had a lady come in and was breech. The kid was hanging out or blue. And that kid is alive today and well.
That's good.
So, I really feel like we didn't get a shot.
All right, well, try not to hold it in too long, all right?
That is what it is.
Well, you're in that line of work, it just keeps piling.
Well, that's how it goes.
Yeah. All right, well, appreciate it.
No problem.
Hopefully don't keep you too long from work.
I'm finna go start right now.
Oh my gosh. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about that one. So that interview was April 26th. Give me one sec, guys. Let me do the doctor interview, and I think we have maybe 2 more and then we're done. Let's do the doctor interview. And again, the channel link is in the description box as well as in the chat. It's pinned. These are the unedited clips of the Alexee Trevizo investigation and arrests, as well as interviews.
Hi, Mel. Can you see us?
Yes, can you see me? I'm sorry, I just had to pick up my kids.
Oh,
No, you're fine.
you're fine. I'm Detective Minter. This is Detective Gonzalez.
Hey, guys.
Very, very nice to meet you.
Likewise.
So go ahead.
Give me 1 sec. I need to give my daughter a direction here.
Okay.
On top of the refrigerator. Have Axel get it down. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
And that's where the snacks are.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and state your name and what you do and where you work.
Heather Marshall Vasquez, MD. I am an emergency physician. My full-time employment job is through Holy Cross Medical Center in Taos, New Mexico, where I'm the medical director. And then I work as an independent contractor for Artesia General Hospital. I work sort of 2 to 4 shifts a month down there.
Okay. Okay.
So for January 27th of this year, you came into contact with Alexee Trevizo. Can you tell us what happened on that day? Just from the beginning of everything that happened.
Yes, she presented, I want to say it was around 11:30 at night. I don't have the chart in front of me, so there's some details I'm going to have to sort of guesstimate from my recollection. Her main complaint was for back pain. She was brought in by her mother. We were told that she began having back pain after coming home from cheerleading practice. Sounds like she had gone to bed and then woken her mother up. And so her mother brought her in. And when I initially evaluated her, she really wouldn't sit still. She wouldn't really let me examine her. She had on a very baggy sweatshirt. And, a 19-year-old with back pain, the vast majority of the time, that's not going to be anything serious. But she was just not really acting right. And so I became concerned that there was something else going on, potentially a kidney stone or something like that. I asked the patient and her mother if she could be pregnant. Her mother said, no, under no circumstances. I've been buying pads for her every month. And so I ordered our normal evaluation, which would be some basic labs, including a pregnancy test, as well as a CAT scan of the abdomen and pelvis to make sure she didn't have a kidney stone or something like that. The pregnancy test came back positive an hour late, maybe 45 minutes later. I can't tell you exactly how much time had elapsed when I became aware that her test was positive. So at that point, we sent it for a blood confirmatory test, which is what we call a quantitative HCG, which tells us it gives us a number instead of just a positive or negative for pregnancy test. It gives us a number. And the reason why that number was really significant was because one of the concerns that you would always have in a young woman who is having back or abdominal pain could be a tubal pregnancy. And so oftentimes we need to correlate the level, the pregnancy hormone level, to determine if it's likely there could be a tubal pregnancy. There's no obstetrics or gynecology at Artesia General, and so it would require transferring her. I also verified at that time that we didn't really have the right kind. The ER has an ultrasound machine, but it didn't have the right probe on there. It had what we call the vascular probe, not the endovaginal or the abdominal one, which would be the ways we would look to see if there was a tubal pregnancy or a viable pregnancy. So I was going to have to call the ultrasound tech in. And so it was taking the lab a little bit longer than I would have thought to give us the actual quantitative HCG level. And so at that point, I started getting very nervous because I figured, well, maybe it's not really high number, maybe they had to dilute it down. And I wanted to check on the patient, and I asked the nurse where the patient was, and he said, well, she's in the bathroom. And I said, oh my goodness, how long has she been in there? And she'd been in there for like 20 minutes. And so at that point, I became very concerned. And I said, you need to get her out of there right now. So it took a while for them to find a key. The nurse was knocking on the door, and we heard the toilet flush several times. And so at that point, finally, the door opened and there was just blood everywhere. And so even though we didn't have the right probe for the ultrasound machine, I felt like I'm just gonna look, because I had already called the tech in, but the tech wasn't there yet. So I took her directly to the room and did a ultrasound. I couldn't see anything. Again, it was the wrong probe. It's not the right probe to even, I don't even know if you could see any, like it's the kind of probe that we use to put like special IVs in the neck. So it wasn't the right kind of probe. But she was bleeding a lot. And so we went directly from doing the ultrasound. And again, I was waiting for the tech to come in, to doing a pelvic exam. And it probably took me 10 or 15 minutes to, when I did the pelvic exam, her cervix, the opening to the uterus was just wide open. And there was just blood pouring out. And I was really mystified as to what could be happening, because I thought, well, maybe she's having a miscarriage. It probably took me 10 or 15 minutes to evacuate all the blood. And just as I was finishing with that exam, the charge nurse came into the ER and said, I need you out here right now. And I walked out into the main department. The nurse was still in a different nurse was still in the room with the patient, trying to get her, clean her up after the exam. And the charge nurse said, the housekeeper and the secretary found a dead baby in the trash can. And so I said, well, where? Because now I needed to verify if the child was alive. So they brought me the trash can. I ran into the trauma 2 room, the resuscitation room, and dumped it out. And it did not take me very long to determine that the child was dead. And I made the decision to not attempt resuscitation. Really, the temperature was cool, and I also did not want to contaminate if it was a crime scene. So at that point, then my attention shifted to making sure that the mother was stabilized, because I realized she just delivered a baby. I didn't know where the placenta was. You know, she could die from a postpartum hemorrhage. So I contacted the on-call obstetrician at Loveless Regional in Roswell and said, I need to transfer this patient to you emergently. They said, yep, just send her up. I think the fire department just took her up right away. But before we transferred her, I talked to my team. I said, look, we're not going to talk to her until we have police present. I want witnesses present for our discussion with her. At that point, several of your officers arrived. They arrived very quickly. And we went in and I said, we found a dead baby in the trash. And she said, well, it came out of me and it wasn't moving, so I just put it in the trash. And the mother started screaming at her, screaming, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. This is after they had both sworn up and down that there was no chance she could be pregnant. And so at that point, once we got her transferred, and I believe that the officers called for, I'm not sure what steps they did, but we made sure we didn't touch the dead baby. We didn't do anything because we did not want to contaminate the crime scene. And then I documented, and that's it.
What was the baby in the trash can?
I did not find it. It was my secretary, who you should speak to. She told me a few weeks later that she was the one. But I was told it was in a plastic bag that was tied off and then stuck into a plastic bag, and then she put trash on the top to try to hide it.
Okay. So he was out.
That was what was told to me.
But he was outside the bag when you saw him.
Yes, they had opened the bag up, and I took the trash can, I just turned it upside down and dumped everything on the bed.
Okay. And you didn't see any trauma or anything to the baby, or?
I don't have a very good recollection of that. My brain was 100% focused on, is this a patient I should try to resuscitate? And once I made the determination not to resuscitate, all of my attention turned to making sure that the mother didn't die.
Okay.
So did any of the nursing staff find the placenta at the emergency room?
No.
No? Okay.
I have no idea what happened with the placenta.
She didn't deliver it at Loveless either.
She probably put it in the toilet, would be my guess.
And would that have been something that was able to be flushed?
It depends on how broken up it was. I mean, you know, if it's torn, it potentially could have been flushable. Or it's possible the housekeeper could have thrown it away without thinking it was just bloody, you know, because there was blood everywhere in the bathroom.
Really? And did she say anything other than after you told her that you found a deceased baby? Did she say anything?
Just that it wasn't moving, so she put it in the trash.
Okay. And mom screaming, "I knew it, I knew it." Okay.
It was a really unpleasant experience.
I'm sorry for that. I really am.
Is there anything you think we should know that we haven't asked?
No, I mean, you have autopsy results and you can, you know, obviously make your decisions based on that. She was extremely duplicitous. She lied to us the entire time. It was it was an extraordinarily difficult case. The nursing staff were distraught. The housekeeper was distraught. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's been a terrible case.
Yes, ma'am. One of the worst I've seen in my career.
I've been a doctor. I've been an emergency doctor for 20 years. I've actually never seen anything like this.
Yeah. What was the lady's name that found the baby that was when it was tied up in the bag?
That was our secretary, Lori, Lori, and I can't remember her last.
Okay.
But
I have her info. I talked to her.
Oh, you already talked to her. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't have anything yet.
Yeah, I don't have any other.
All right, Doc. I appreciate your time and what you do. And if we have any other questions, would you mind talking to us again?
No, not at all. And of course, I'm prepared to testify if I have to.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen. So, okay. And
just the only thing I ask is please help me prepare for it if I have to do that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, of course. With cases like this, they're called pre-trial interviews. Okay. So you'll be prepped. You know, everybody in this case will be prepped prior to trial. Okay.
Well, officers, I don't envy what you're having to do, and I know it must have been a difficult decision, but I think your courage is thank you for doing what's right. Neither the mother of the patient nor the patient even asked what the gender of the baby was. I don't even know what to say.
Nor do I, ma'am. Nor do I. Okay.
Well, just know my prayers are with you guys as you sort of sort through this. So.
You as well, ma'am, and have a good rest of your weekend, okay?
Okay, will do. Thank you, sir.
Bye now.
Bye.
All right, guys. Let me mute this real quick. Okay. Well, yeah, this was a late night stream, and we are going to conclude it. I'm going to re-review some of these because I haven't shown all the videos. There's one specific one that I really want to show. We'll do a little review of it tomorrow, maybe in the morning or afternoonish, depending. But I wanted to shout out this channel by the name of True Crime Anayeli. Again, information is in the description box as well as in the chat. I'm having to head out because baby bunny's like waking up, so I gotta go tend to her, and it's bedtime. You guys have a great night. Again, hug your loved ones, and you know, if this is trigger warning, because this is a lot to handle, right? Shout out to everybody in the chat, and thank you guys so much for joining me. Rabbits out.